left it late to earn a point at the Vitality Stadium as Manchester United drew 1-1 with Bournemouth. It was a game of, it was a game full of interest from like all quarters. A 96-minute equalizer from Rasmus Højlund kind of ensured that Man United, took a Premier League point from the South Coast following a 1-1 draw with Bournemouth. The Cherries had taken the lead, obviously. Bournemouth had taken the lead through Antoine Semenyo, who I said in our match preview that he was the key player to watch for Bournemouth. Took the lead in the first half after a few against run of play. That's what I'll just say. Just moments after a high challenge from Tyler Adams was judged not to be enough for a red card by the video assistant referee. Right, but the VAR did intervene in the 70th minute, however, recommending that referee Peter Banks watch Evan Nielsen's strong tackle on Nusra Mazraoui again before the Bournemouth striker was given his marching orders, was given a red card, and one of the Bournemouth coaches was also given a yellow card. But United then made one-man advantage pay in time for the remainder of the game and got back on terms through Rasmus Højlund's stoppage time equalizer or leveler. Ensuring that, we had to fight for a point, even though it was a point gained, 2 points dropped. But it is what it is. Man United really played. Obviously, if you watch a game, one thing I always advise fans is don't watch a game with commentators. Sometimes you just watch a game with either a commentator in a foreign language or just no commentators at all and just kind of analyze the game, especially if you're watching a watch along of most of the United fan channels. But it was good that Rasmus Højlund stepped up and came up clutch to salvage a point, and it was a much needed goal for Rasmus Højlund because he hasn't scored in a long time, and that's his fourth Premier League goal and the second goal at the turn of the year 2025. So it was really good, and then it was a game that Manchester United had to try to play to ensure that we prepare for Thursday night, because obviously the game really went a certain way, in such that Amorim didn't really heavily rotate on the day. Early crosses from Bruno Fernandes in the first half, and Bournemouth's Dango, Ouattara, basically asked questions of respective defenses before the South Coast contest's first real chance was brilliantly carved out by Kobbie Mainoo. Manchester United tried to create chances. Kobbie Mainoo had that chance inside the box where he tried to place the keeper, and the keeper saved it, and that's Kepa Arrizabalaga, who is also good in saving goals. But then it is what it is. Now the moment came when obviously they had a chance, and that was their only shot on target that they had, and I think all game as well. So it was, and then Alejandro Garnacho also had a one-on-one. It was a long pass that was put over the defense, and then he had the chance to chip the keeper, but he didn't succeed because the keeper actually punched it over the bar. So we could have won this game like 4-5-1 or thereabouts, considering that they scored, and then they also could have scored another goal from Dango Ouattara, who actually shot the ball and he hit the crossbar, or the edge of the crossbar and the post, and probably Andre Onana could have saved it. But it was a good game to watch. Basically, it was a bit rowdy because obviously Bournemouth were trying to be as aggressive as they could be, while Man United were trying as much as possible to, contain them and also pass in between the lines. And I was pretty impressed. The starting lineup started with three at the back, which is Nusra Mazraoui. Three at the back, which is Lenny Yoro, Luke Shaw, and Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire playing central, and then Luke Shaw and Lenny Yoro being the ball carriers. And then we had Nusra Mazraoui replacing Diogo Dalot on the right wing back position, and then Patrick Dogu playing on the left wing back position, with the midfield of Casemiro and Kobbie Mainoo, and then with the two tens of Garnacho and Bruno Fernandes. Obviously, Kobbie Mainoo and Garnacho and Bruno Fernandes were actually switching from time to time to either the 2-6 or the 2-10. One was controlling, the other was playing intricate plays and passes in between. But Casemiro was the only guy who was holding that number 6 position and also pressing when necessary and passing in between and making quick passes and all of that. And he seems to be playing himself into the squad, as I always say in every episode of United Talk Sport. And then up top we had Rasmus Højlund. making his usual runs and all of that, and Garnacho being our outlet and trying to create chances as much as he could. But he seemed to be passing more this time than shooting as much. So it was kind of like a balance. There were times when he had so many shots and they were blocked, and there were times when he had shots and they were off target. But it was a good game. Pretty balanced on each side, but then Man United still came through. Man United still tried to control the game. Man United still tried to press them. Man United still tried to do like all sorts of things, just to try to win the ball, even though they had moments when they were pressing. But to see that they didn't really have a chance on us, and considering the fact that they have a good record against us, considering that Andoni Iraola, who I said I have a bone to pick, has not really lost to Man United since he joined Bournemouth. But it is what it is. We had lost 3 times to them at Old Trafford, and then we had drawn once to them at the Vitality Stadium. But Manchester United still came up with a draw, and it was good that we were not beaten, because if we had lost, it would have not been good to take momentum into the Bilbao game that comes up on Thursday. But I was really, really impressed with some of the gameplay, the fact that the team is also taking shape and all of that, and Amorim is using this same period to understand the players that are going to work with him for the next season as we go on. But it was good. First half was okay. We had so many chances, but we just didn't convert. We had so many shots, but we just didn't score. We had the opportunity to chip the goalkeeper. We just didn't take it. But we now had an opportunity to change things in the second half, which we did. And obviously, as I suspected and I predicted also in the match preview, that Rúben Amorim will give some players starts and then eventually take them off at 60 minutes. So it was really good to see. It was really good to watch. It was really good to kind of understand what Amorim is thinking about. And in the second half, when he changed things around, he brought on subs, and he brought on Manuel Ugarte for Casemiro. And I think he took Nusa Mazraoui off as well, and he took Maguire off as well, and brought on Lindelof. So you could tell that some of these things were happening based on the fact that Rúben Amorim understands what's going on and stuff like that. So basically, he was preparing for the game on Thursday, but he took off Casemiro, took off Kobbie Mainoo, took off Nusa Mazraoui, took off Patrick Dogu later on in 90th minute, and then took off Harry Maguire. So these were the 5 players that he took off. Harry Maguire obviously is going to start on Thursday. Kobbie Mainoo could potentially start ahead of Manuel Ugarte on Thursday. Patrick Dogu is definitely starting on Thursday. Nusa Mazraoui is definitely starting on Thursday. Lenioro is definitely starting on Thursday. For Luke Shaw, I guess he probably starts because of Diogo Dalot injured. If not, it would have been a back three of Shaw, Maguire, and Lenioro. But let's not go into Thursday. So let's talk about this one. So Garnacho played as a wing back towards the end of second half. Played as wing back, while Shaw played as the ball carrier when we switched things up and all of that. So he was a back three of Ugarte, Lenioro, and Shaw. And then, it was good to see. It was good to see that things were kind of changing, because we threw the kitchen sink at them and we got a goal through Ugate's shot, and then Rasmus Højlund deflecting or changing the direction. And those are the things that kind of give confidence to strikers like that. So that's pretty much all about the game. I was really impressed with the game. I expected more, but what I got, considering where we are in the season, that is pretty good, considering that, other teams have lost 18, 19 games in the season, and we have lost how many games? Even though I'm saying, the levels have dropped, but the truth is the season had been bad from day one. So it is what it is. So, and I'm guessing, as I said, Rúben Amorim is going to use this period to test out what he expects of his team. Right? So it is what it is. We're going to build from here, and then we're going to take it to the next level. Also, with regards to player ratings, so we're going to go with the player ratings starting from the goalie. So player ratings for the game, starting with the goalie, Andre Onana, he gets a 6.5 performance from me. It was an okay game, okay performance, nothing too much to report. He had only one shot that went past him. The rest, he was trying to save, punch, and all that, so it was okay. And then the other players, back three, Luke Shaw, 7.5 performance, was okay, was pretty strong, was doing well, made me like him. But then obviously Luke Shaw is not always fit, so we're gonna move on from that one. And the next one is most definitely Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire got a 7.0 performance, was okay, did okay today, but was not really up to it, because it was not really like, he was doing well tackling and all that, but I'm guessing his mind is already set on Thursday. And then the next one is Lenny Yoro. Lenny Yoro gets a 7.5 performance from me. Good performance, strong, consistent. He's doing the things right, doing the right things, okay, tackling well and all that, showing energy, showing strength, and he's grown even in stature as since he came and all that. So doing so well and all that. Don't want to go like into intricate details with his stats and stuff. And then we go with the wing backs. Patrick Dogu. I don't know. I think Patrick Dogu is struggling a little bit. He's struggling a little bit. I think he is struggling a little bit. He's been trying to do the right things, but then struggling to do things, as expected. I think the Premier League is a bit too fast for him as well, but he's getting there. That's what I think, and I believe obviously he's barely played 20 games for Man United, so it is what it is. Next one is, so he gets a 6.5 performance from me. Did well overall. And then Nuzul Mazraoui, obviously 7.5 performance, hasn't put a foot wrong, has done well in every position. He hasn't played left centre back, right centre back, and right wing back, and also in midfield as well. He's played really well, and he did well. And he was subbed off at the 75th minute, but did really, really well playing that right wing back spot and all that, blocking all, tackling all, and all of that. And then we have Kobe Mainoo, gets a 7.0 performance, was doing the little things, even though I think the field was a bit slippery and all of that. So he seemed to be slipping a lot, but he was doing those intricate passes. And I'm thinking that Rúben Amorim is going to try him or going to play him against Athletic Bilbao. But I also suspect that he might not play him against Bilbao, but would rather, bring him up from the bench and then play Manuel Ugarte against Bilbao. It is what it is. Let's see how that goes. And then Casemiro, and I pretty much believe that's why Ugarte was rested. Then when he came in second half, he played really well. Then Casemiro, he gets a 7.5 performance, really did well, calm head, mature, shows his levels. His levels above some players in the squad. He has proven himself over time, and was rested at the 65th minute, most definitely starting the Bilbao game. It is what it is. And then the next one is Alejandro Garnacho, 7.5 performance, did well, was okay. Should have done better, should have done more, shouldn't be shooting anyhow, and all of that. And the next one is, we're going to go with Rasmus Højlund before we come to Bruno. Rasmus Højlund did very well, 8.0 performance, first time in a long time, was running, was working hard, was doing everything, played the full 90 minutes. He scored one goal, he had just one shot, and that one shot was the goal. He created one chance. He had 29 touches in the game, 3 touches in the opposition box. Successful dribbles was 100%, which is 1 of 1. Accurate long balls, 1 of 100%. So struggling, but was doing really well in the game. Duels won 4, ground duels won 2, 100%. Aerial duels won 2 of 5, 40%, amongst all the things. Was doing really well, struggling, but was working really hard, and you could tell that this guy loves the club. Then the next person on our list is Bruno Fernandes, who was my man of the match. He gets an 8.5 performance from me. Bruno Fernandes was the player of the match with 8.5, and he completed the most passes, 56 in the match, and he also created the most chances, 7 in the match. So he's doing it all the time, every time, shooting and creating chances that were worth it, quality chances that were not converted. He had 97 touches in the game. He had 11 passes into the final third. He had basically 4 duels won. 75% of his ground duels won, 50% of his air duels won. Was doing the right things. I like the fact that I was switching with Mainoo at different times, from mid to the 10, from the holding 6 to the 10 and all of that. So it was pretty good to see. And then for the guys who came on as subs, we had 5 subs in total. We had Manuel Ugarte, 7.5 performance, did really well, created the assist that scored, that led to Rasmus Højlund's goal. And then Mason Mount, 6.0 performance, did well, came in at the 65th minute, was doing okay, was doing the right things, making it simple, keeping it simple and straightforward and all of that. Then Victor Lindelof, 6.5 performance, was okay, nothing hard to report, was doing well and all of that. Then we had Chido Obi, who came in at the 75th minute, also had a couple of chances. He gets a 6.5 performance from me. Had a couple of chances, 2 chances. One was blocked, the other was a shot that was off target or saved, I think. One last shot that was deflected and stuff. Off target, I remember that. Yeah, and then he had 2 shots in total, played 15 minutes in the game. He accurate passes, 1 of 1. Barely had so many touches as well. 50% shots on target, which is 1 of 2. 100% tackles won 100, and 1 of 1, and then ground duels won 1 of 1, and all of that. So recoveries was 1. I remember that recovery where he had to run basically back to win the ball back and then eventually create a chance. Defensive actions 1 of 1 in total. So he really did well. He had 6 touches in the game, played only 15 minutes, and slowly he's getting the hang of playing for Manchester United, knowing that the shoulder that wears that hat is the crown, the head that wears that crown is really heavy, right? And then we had Christian Eriksen come in as well, try to create a couple of chances. He had 7 touches total on the game, but did really well. Steady head, nothing to report, no rating for Christian Eriksen. Came in at 90th minute. He had a chance. If I was giving him a rating, maybe 5.0, but it is what it is. And then we have Rúben Amorim. For Rúben Amorim, I'll give him a 7.0 performance. He tried to manage the game, and I won't blame him for anything whatsoever. He did really well, tried to manage the game and tried to do things right. And then for the overall team performance, I'm going to say it's a 7.0. We did well on the day. It was 2 points dropped. We needed to do better. We needed to convert our chances. Mason Mount had a chance. Bruno Fernandes had a chance. A couple of people had a chance. Chidobe had a chance as well, where he shot the ball and the ball hit the bar, and there's one that was blocked, not hit the bar, but the edge of the box, and the keeper saved it and all of that. So even there was one where he could have gone down and they have gotten a penalty. First one, the second one, he went down and he wasn't given. So it is what it is. It was a game that really did. I was surprised to see that Rúben Amorim put Chidobe and Rasmus Højlund together. And I'm guessing that he probably expected that one of them would drop when we are defending or when we are attacking. The two of them push forward and all that. Then I noticed that Shaw was playing more like a ball carrier and also a left-sided defender. So I don't want to say maybe centre back or something, but yeah, I was impressed with the game. I liked what Rúben Amorim did with that game and all of that. So in preparation for the game on Thursday, so we're going to do a match preview for that one, but let's keep going. Let's keep the momentum going. 1 point gained. We prepare for Thursday, play against Bilbao, a very technical team, very fast-paced team as well, and all that. We're going to do a review much later. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing. If you haven't already, please do like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't have to miss anything as it relates to Manchester United. Thank you so much for watching and liking, sharing, and subscribing, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care, goodbye, and God bless.